Alright, and we're back here, guys, for the second one of these. Woo, we're actually making a series out of this.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I just can't wait to lose.
We're losing control of the audience.
The topic for this one was Overwatch, and especially looking at Hammond's or Wreaking Ball, if you want to believe Blizzard's naming convention, and how we feel about him. And given that Overwatch League wrapped up 2 weeks ago,
we were robbed.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, in fact, the World Cup just in the corner.
Yeah, looking forward to that actually.
Yeah, as am I.
Is it the same teams?
Yeah. Well,
some of them.
Most of the same countries are in it.
Okay, cool.
They changed up the format a bit. So, and I think the Australian matches are actually in an Australian time zone too. So
holy crap! No way.
So we should actually be able to watch them.
Yeah, I'm keen for that.
I can't remember who we're up against though. So
I have to refresh myself on that one.
Yeah. All right. So yeah. What's everybody's thoughts on Wrecking Ball or Hammond? I'm gonna just keep calling him Hammond. Hopefully.
He's a great hero.
Worthless tank.
Wow.
Yeah, he's not the best tank, I must say.
To be honest, he's not really a tank. He's just like another addition to a dive team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
but Winston's a tank. I classify him as a better tank.
It sort of comes down, think about it. Most of the tanks and even the healers all exist sort of on a sliding scale. Like you got your super hard tanks, Reinhardt.
Reinhardt.
Yeah. You got your main, your Reinhardt, your Winston, and then you got your off tanks, your Diva, and I suppose Zarya. Zarya would be off tank.
I've always felt squishier as a Winston or a Diva than compared to a Reinhardt or an Orisa.
I'd say I'm more squishy as a Winston than a Diva, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Wrecking Ball just sort of, or Hammond, whatever you want to call him, sits more along that line of it's the squishier, more speed and DPS focused.
Yeah, it's like if you're asking for a tank and someone clicks Roadhog. That's what Hammond is.
Well, yeah, but I don't mind Roadhog as a second tank. But Roadhog works as a second tank regardless of who you've got as the first. Well, regardless of who you had as the first one before Hammond came out. But I don't know if I'd be overly comfortable with your tanking lineup being Wrecking Ball Roadhog.
No, that would not be a very viable strat, I feel.
Yeah. Hey, how's everybody been enjoying playing him?
I'm having a great time at the moment.
I am pretty terrible at his hook thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I have it on zero cooldown at the moment, so we can practice.
I mean, I know a lot of us have played him in the quick play and that, but I've never actually really had a proper match with him. So my opinion of is just based on what I see other people play, and that's a lot of people don't seem to use him very well in a team. They sort of like to do their own thing, just swing around and try to be a nuisance, kind of like a Tracer.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, they just run around and barge into people and run away.
Yeah. Their job is to either chase after people or just be a nuisance on the point, and while holding for the rest of the team to get back in, which is good. It's good to have a tank that can hold their own for quite a long time. His health pool is certainly nothing to sneeze at.
Especially his shield if you've got a big group around, because that easily pushes him into the 4 digits.
Especially seeing the shield lasts for the whole 8 seconds. That's quite a long time to have potentially 600 extra hit points.
Yeah.
Well, it's never going to take as much firepower as going through an entire Reinhardt shield and a Reinhardt, but the maneuverability of him, even with that much health, with the shield up, is pretty solid. How about you, Nick?
Move on.
What
are your thoughts on him?
Yeah.
I like him, but I don't think I'm ever going to be able to play him professionally.
Professionally, eh?
You feel professionally?
Well, I I like to be able to hit my targets easily, whereas this one just feels like I'm going to just jump off the edge any minute now.
Like, I say that about every new hero that comes out. Like, I was against Moira, and then I like played her constantly. And like, I was against Brigitte, but I've actually been playing her a lot lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair. I mean, but for the support heroes, I never had an issue with them. They always sort of made sense.
Coming from the just about Ana main.
I hold no bias.
Actually, that would be an interesting measurement, Nick. You as an Ana main, you've got a nano boost. Which tanks? Where does Wrecking Ball or Hammond sit in your lineup for preference for tanks to nano boost?
Generally, I'll go for the highest DPS, which normally isn't Winston, and generally isn't
bad,
Diva.
Winston.
So if there's a Diva and a Winston on the team, and there's a Hammond will get it.
Okay.
Simply because
Reinhardt gets a few nano boosts all the time.
Reinhardt gets it hands down every time, because generally I wait for Reinhardt to make his charge in which case he's already in combat, so it stops him from dying.
To be fair, I've seen you pick Brigitte's over tanks, other tanks as well.
I would like to say that he runs in front of the gun. Chooses to run in front of the gun. Whoever's playing Brigitte.
No, Nick's purposely targeted me with it a few times. I've been over in the corner. It's like, Nick, why did I get this?
I generally just look for who has the ult. If Brigitte has her ult and I can put nano on her, then I go with that combo, because it means you're never going to die. Plus, it keeps you up to make use of your full ult.
True, but is it a good choice to be using two support ults on like a how long is her rally stay out for? 20 seconds?
15.
Yeah, I was going to say it's nowhere near 20.
I was going to say,
but I've gotten to the point now where I can remember Anna's boost isn't used for defense unless it's a single. It only saves one person, so it's not worth holding for every. Unless you're doing a push, it's not worth holding it.
In saying that, when they do introduce that rework for her that will actually let it regen your health when it does the injection, that may make it more useful as for actually giving it to a different style of tank. Like your Winston that jumps in and gets basically wiped out. You can eject him from a far distance, give him his health back, plus he gets to do extra damage. The part of him getting in there at first to use it no longer becomes a problem.
I was going to say, it just gives Nick even more reason to give it to me when I go Orion.
That's pretty much what I do. Because it'll heal the target and they won't be able to die, so it's like it gives you an extra bit of healing.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether or not they change that to be something like that. It gives you, if it overheals, it gives you to its armor, or if it's just straight out, if you already at full health, you just get no benefit.
I think they said it's just straight out, it heals, there's no armor effect, but I might be wrong on that.
Interesting to see.
But yeah, on Hammond himself, I've really been enjoying the grappling hook.
I really, really enjoy this grappling hook. It's so good.
There's been plenty of maps where I pulled some interesting shit off with that. And it's great for just, like, dodging a front line, and as an actual tank, dodging the front line. Stuff that used to be reserved for either Reaper's shadow stepping through, or Sombra's going invis, or Lucio's getting around walls. You can now do it with an actual tank to just skip the front line and be on the point, and forcing their hard defense to basically shit themselves and have to work out what they're going to do.
Yeah, you make a good point there.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of value in being able to do that. I haven't been overly sure about how I feel about his offensive capabilities, because like his main guns can take out a squishy hero with their full mag, but you've got no real hope of taking on a tank with them. But you shouldn't be able to as a tank character, is my opinion at least. And yeah, I think his ult's where he really shines. Like how many points have we taken or defended with that ult?
Yeah, it's good to occupy an area.
Yeah. But I've seen a few comments so far that no, he's not a good tank, or you don't consider him a tank character. But it's like I think it's just he sits in the off tank sort of, or the dive tank more than your standard tank sort of play.
Yeah, I think that's true.
I've actually managed to pull up the World Cup list as well while we've been talking.
Nice.
So Australia is in the third round of, what do you call this? Like the round robin style stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Up against China, Sweden, Thailand, Spain, and Denmark. Not sure how I like our odds in that.
That
Stack
pool
up?
specifically, not good.
Yeah, that would be an interesting one.
YOLO.
I think we've got a
Sweden,
I
Denmark.
think we would probably have to just about write off the match against China.
Why? Against China. What are you talking about?
Remind me again, was it Sweden that we lost to last year?
It does ring a bell. I'm pretty sure it was Sweden.
Yeah. I think it was Sweden. I remember Australia did better than I expected last year out of it. The other thing is that on the actual lineup, we're really heavily stacked on day 2. 3 of the 5 matches on day 2 have Australia in it.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And Australia doesn't have a single match on day 3. So, yeah. Make sure you tune in day 2.
All right, tuning in.
But yeah, let's talk about the other big the other big Overwatch sport one. How did everybody feel about Overwatch League now that they've finished the first season?
I actually really enjoyed it.
Nick, Mark?
Just to point out, I'm the minority in this group that doesn't actually watch games online, people playing them.
How about you, Nick?
I enjoyed it. I didn't watch. I have to admit, I didn't watch every single one of them, but of the ones I did watch, they were pretty interesting. Better than watching them on YouTube.
Alright, so just to get it clear and out there, coming into this, who was rooting for which teams?
Spitfire and Dynasty.
I think I picked the Dragon skin, so I'm going to go with a team called Dragon, I think.
Oh, you poor soul.
Yeah, you poor soul.
What happened? What happened to my team?
They didn't win a
lost.
single match.
They lost 0-40.
Oh, fuck. Can I turn my skin back in?
No, you can't. But to be fair, they did have nice skin, so I did get the big one for that. So I can.
They
agree
did
with you
have
there.
very nice skin.
They did have very nice skin.
I picked it because my McCree was the only one without a good legendary, and then I got a legendary like as soon as I picked it.
Oh, good. As you do.
Well,
My team's going into it. Actually, I kind of actually wanted either the Outlaws or the Valiant to win.
oh yeah.
Those are-
I was going into it. I was Valiant as my number 1, Dallas Fuel as my number 2, and Spitfire as my number 3. I sort of stopped following the rest of it outside of Valiant as time went on.
Fair.
How about you, Nick?
I didn't really have anyone I sort of went for. I just watched them for the fun of it.
Oh, yeah. That means he also supported the Dragon.
Team Dragon.
Now we don't. We could turn this into an entire half hour of us all just backing me out on Shanghai Dragons.
Feels bad, Shanghai Dragons, but you're bad.
Gold Dragons. They'll win it again.
From what I've heard, they're aiming for adding 6 more teams to next year. And anybody got any hopes for what gets picked up?
No idea.
They did an announcement on what they were supposed to be today. See if I can find it.
Was it all 6 or was it only the first couple? Because I thought they were
think
doing...
they only I think they may have only said there was only 2 new ones going to be joining.
Oh.
Uh,
I gotta admit, I've been really hoping for an actual Australian team. Like an Australian-based team.
Did you say there was like a team coming, or was it like there's a building that in Australia that they've been using for I thought you linked me to something a while ago that like they're using a esports building in Australia or something, or they got an East Australia team.
That was... I think that was Luke, you about the contenders or something, wasn't it?
yeah, that was them holding their esports in Melbourne at the Rod Laver Arena. Yeah, here we go. Kotaku did one on it 2 days ago. They're adding 2 new teams: Atlanta, Georgia, and Guizhou, China. Guangzhou.
So based on those names, do you have to live in those areas to sort of join that team?
No.
No, teams can be
or they're just team names. They got no relation to location.
I'm pretty
no,
sure
exactly.
that the London Spitfire are all Koreans.
They are. Just like New York Excelsior are all Koreans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This
So
is part of the reason I was really pro Valiant. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah. I was of the same opinion.
But, like, I imagine one day they'll get to the point where they're actually hosting matches in the cities of the teams that they're playing in, rather than all in LA. And at that point, I would really love for there to be an Australian team, just so we actually have an Australian.
Chance to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And
it'd be nice to see one of those actually sitting in the place.
Like, come on, Australians we're always passionate about sports.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the Overwatch, the World Cup last year, and the qualifier, the rounds held in Australia, that was solid atmosphere in that stadium. I didn't actually get to go. I really pissed off that this year there's no Australian leg of it this time round, because I could have actually gone this year if there was. And all you need is 2 Australian teams, and all of a sudden you have a natural blood rivalry going on in Australia. Like,
Digital
I
sport.
thought you were going to say a blood riot. I'm like, is this all it takes? I wonder why the Horde had it.
Apologize.
Yeah. I don't think we would get 2 teams, just because I don't think there's enough people in Australia, enough people with the financial backing in Australia to want to buy 2 team licenses, because those were expensive as crap, weren't they?
Yeah,
yes.
and
but it's okay. We can buy a team license.
I doubt it. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if because they've made no talk about changing those buy-ins. So I'm guessing that's going to remain the same next season as well.
Yeah. Who knows? But I think Overwatch League's done some amazing stuff for esports. Like, I said, December last year, that I thought Overwatch League would be a way to pull some serious, like, start getting much better pickup of esports, and I think the mere fact that the final was televised on... It was 2 US networks as well, wasn't it, that actually televised it?
Yes.
And the fact that every match has been going out on Twitch, and Twitch paid a lot for that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did actually. Quite a lot. I don't know the exact figure, but yeah.
And like, I'm actually just looking at pictures I'm just looking at pictures right now from the final, and that stadium was pretty well packed from the looks of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It did look pretty full. It was a bit empty when DJ Khalid was out.
Oh.
But everyone knows that DJ Khalid was the best part of that whole thing.
Especially him.
Yeah. I think he was his number 1 fan there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell Blizzard was thinking there. Anyway, Anybody got any more they want to jump in on this one with?
Nothing at the moment. Oh, guys, stop killing me.
I wish, but I keep killing myself.
Raymond, I'm just gonna say you amped yourself up and no one else, didn't you?
Alright, we'll call it there then.
Yep.
Thanks for watching us, whoever it might be out
Thank you
there.
so very much.
Bye.
We'll hopefully be back next week.